Assalamu alaikum dear students. In this lecture, we'll be doing section 1.3, which is about propositional equivalences. So the section summary is as follows. We'll define tautologies, contradictions, contingencies, and then logical equivalences. And finally, we will have some definition and examples about proposition satisfiability. So what is tautology and what is contradiction and what is contingency? Let's define all these terms. A tautology is a proposition which is always true. So this is a proposition which is always true. Such a proposition is called tautology. And there is an example, P or negation P. We can see the truth table for this proposition to verify that this is a tautology. Now, if we have proposition P, then it can either be true or false. Then what will be the truth value of negation P? It will be false and true. Now, disjunction of P and negation P gives us true false mean true and false true means true. So this is true for every truth value for P. So this is tautology. A contradiction is a proposition which is always false. So this is quite opposite to tautology. So contradiction is a proposition which is always false. And we have an example of a contradiction, P and negation P. So we can add column for P and negation P in order to check whether this is a contradiction or not. P and negation P. Now you can see that true and false is false. False is true, again false. So P and negation P is always false. So this is contradiction. So a contingency is a proposition. This is also a proposition which is neither a tautology nor a contradiction. That is, it may have mixed truth values. It can be true, it can be false as well. So you can see that in this table, P is a contingency. So here is the truth table for all these examples which I have already made. Logically equivalent. Two compound propositions. So if we have two compound propositions, P and Q, these are logically equivalent if this biconditional is a tautology. And notation for equivalent propositions is used sometimes this, and sometimes we use this notation. In your book, this notation is used. That is, whenever we have to say that two propositions are equal, we will be inserting this symbol in between the propositions, where P and Q are compound propositions. Two compound propositions P and Q are equivalent if and only if the columns in the truth table giving their truth values agree. That is, if they have same truth values, then the compound propositions are called equivalent. So the truth table shows negation P or Q is equivalent to P implies Q. So we have a truth table. Since two variables are used in this table, so you can see that there are 4 rows in the table. So the first column is dedicated to truth values for P, and in second column you can see truth values of Q, and third column is for negation P. And since we have to find the truth value of negation P or Q, so that is why we had to find the truth value of negation P. Now negation P or Q gives us these two truth values, true, false, true, true. and P implies Q is false only when P is false and Q is true. So in this case, P is true and Q is false. This is false only when P is true, Q is false, and you can see that this happens in this situation. So this is false in this case, and otherwise this is true. And now from this column and this column, you can see truth values agree for both the compound propositions. So this shows that the negation P or Q is equivalent to P implies Q. Now, De Morgan's law for propositional logic. So we have first De Morgan law, which states that negation of P and Q is equivalent to negation P or negation Q. So you would have studied De Morgan's law in terms of sets. If we have two sets A and B, then De Morgan's law, first De Morgan's law looks like this. A intersection B complement is equal to A complement union B complement. So in logic, these laws are transformed in this statement. Similarly, other law of De Morgan is A union B complement is equal to A complement intersection B complement. Actually, in logic, this intersection is associated with and union is associated with this operator OR. So these are the De Morgan's laws for logics, proposition logics, propositions. So you can see that negation of P and Q is equivalent to negation P or negation Q. And the other law is negation of P or Q is equivalent to negation P and negation Q. We can prove these laws with the help of truth table. So let's try one of them. Other is exercise for you. You can prove this yourself. So second law is proved in this table. Again, how many variables are used in this equivalence P and Q? So we have only two variables, so we have to form four rows in the table for the truth values. So column 1 shows the truth values of P, column 2 shows the truth values of Q, and then column 3 shows the truth values of negation P, that is opposite to P, and the column 4 shows the truth values of negation Q, and column 5 is dedicated to P or Q. So we have truth values of P or Q as shown in column 5, and in column 6 truth values of negation of P or Q are shown. You can see that if P or Q is true, then negation P or Q is false, and if it is true, then it false, true, false, false, true. Now the last column is dedicated to right side of this equivalence. So right side of this equivalence is actually compound proposition negation P and negation Q. So negation P and negation Q means we have to take conjunction of these two columns. Now false, false gives us false, false, true gives us false, true, false gives us false, and when both are true, we have the truth value 2 for the conjunction of negation P and negation Q. Now, from last two columns, we can see that the truth values agree for both the compound propositions. So this shows that the compound propositions negation P or Q is equivalent to negation P and negation Q. So this is how the second law has been proved. Similarly, you can form a truth table for the first law to prove this equivalence, that is this one. Now there are a few logical equivalences which we are going to use in further application. So let's go through all these laws. Identity law, that is P and a tautology, a proposition which is true always, this T means a proposition which is true always. P and a tautology is equal to P. So we can see that if we have a proposition P, then it is either true, either false. And if we have a proposition which is true always, then conjunction of P and T gives us true, false. So from this column and from this column, you can see that P and T is equivalent to P, because truth values of both the propositions are same. Similarly, P or F is equivalent to P. So we can add two more columns here. F means a proposition which is false, that is a contradiction. Now P or F gives us true, false, matlab true. Both false means their disjunction is false, right? So this shows that this T is an identity for conjunction, because when we have a conjunction of any proposition with T, we have proposition itself, right? Similarly, this contradiction, that is this false proposition, is the identity for disjunction. When we have a disjunction with of a proposition with a contradiction which is always false, we always have the proposition itself. So that is why these are called identity laws. Domination laws. P or a tautology is always a tautology. P and contradiction is equivalent to contradiction, that is false. So you can prove all these laws with the help of table, as I did in first law. Idempotent laws. P or P is equivalent to P. P and P is also equivalent to P. Double negation law. Negation of negation P is equivalent to P. Negation laws. P or negation P is equivalent to tautology. This is a tautology, is equal to T. So P and negation P, that is conjunction of P and its negation, is always false. So it is equivalent to F. So commutative laws. This is commutative law of for OR operator. P or Q is equivalent to Q or P. That is when if we change the order of the propositions, it doesn't make any difference in the truth value of the proposition. Similarly, P and Q is equivalent to Q and P. Associative laws, that is P and Q and R is equivalent to P and Q and R. That is, if we take conjunction of P and Q first, and then we have conjunction with the R, or we take conjunction of Q and R first, and then we have conjunction with P, we have same truth value in both the cases. So this is called associative law for the operator, and this is the associative law for the operator OR. Distributive law. So P or Q and R can be written as P and the P or Q, and this and comes in between, and P or R. So this is the distributive law for propositions, that is P or Q and R is equivalent to P or Q and Q, P or R. So similarly, this and is distributive over OR. So P and Q. So first of all, we will have conjunction of P and Q, and this OR will come in between, and then we have conjunction of P and R. So P and Q or P and R. So as I told you before, you can prove all these laws with the help of truth tables. So I'm not going to practice it again and again. You can prove it yourself. Absorption laws. P or P and Q is equivalent to P. So all these laws can be associated to sets as well. P or P and Q is equivalent to P. Similarly, P or P and P or Q is also equivalent to P. You would have learned in sets that A union A intersection B is equal to A. So similar is the case in this situation in case of propositions. Or other absorption law in sets is actually A intersection A union B is again equal to A. So this in fact corresponds to this proposition equivalence. Now there are few more logical equivalences, and table 7 shows the logical equivalences involving conditional statements, and table 8 shows logical equivalences involving biconditional statements. So if these equivalences will be used in further applications, so if you can learn all these propositions by heart, or you can remember all these, then it will be very good, because you have to apply these laws to prove equivalences without using truth tables. So although it's really hard to remember all these laws, of course, but you can learn few of these, couple of the laws are used again and again, and you can remember them, memorize them, right? So these are the laws, and you can prove every law written in this table and in this table with the help of truth tables. So this is the generalized form of associative laws. That is, if we have an expression P1 and P2 and Pn, then this is equivalent to P2, or this is OR operator, the P2 or P1 or P3 or Pn. This is also equivalent to Pn or P1 or P3 or P2 up till P and minus 1. So you can change the order and you will get same truth value. Similarly, you can extend the associative law for AND operator as well. So next, De Morgan's laws can also be extended in this way. So we just saw in previous slides that the De Morgan's laws for only 2 propositions. Now there are n propositions, and De Morgan's laws hold for n propositions as well. Negation of the conjunction of all these n propositions is equivalent to disjunction of negation of every proposition. So negation of P1 and P2 and so on Pn is equivalent to negation of P1. I again read it, and this is OR. So negation of P1 or P2 or Pn is equivalent to negation of P1 and negation of P2 and negation of Pn. Similarly, other law can be stated as negation of P1 and P2 and Pn is equivalent to negation of P1 or negation of P2. So these are the generalized forms of De Morgan's laws. Now, the application of De Morgan's law, use the De Morgan's laws to express negation of these 2 statements. So we have 2 statements in English, and we have to express the negation of these statements. So first statement actually is, Megal has a cell phone and he has a computer. So let's assign variables to the propositions. Megal has a cell phone, let it be P, and Megal has a laptop computer, let it be Q. Then this original statement becomes P and Q, right? Now we have to find the negation of this statement, that is, we have to find negation of this. Now by De Morgan's law, negation of P and Q is negation P or negation Q. So let's transform this right side this proposition into the sentence. So negation of this sentence will be Meghal does not have cell phone, or Meghal does not have a laptop computer. So this is how we can use De Morgan's laws to express negation of any compound proposition or a statement. So the next statement is Heather will go to concert or Steve will go to the concert. So let's assign variables again. Let Heather will go to the concert be R and Steve will go to the concert be denoted by S. So the original statement will be R or S. Now we have to find the negation because we have to express the negations. So negation of R or S. With the help of De Morgan's law is negation of R and negation of S. Now what is R? Heather will go to the concert. So negation of R will be Heather will not go to the concert. And negation of S is Steve will not go to the concert. Right? So this is the negation. Heather will not go to the concert and Steve will not go to the concert. Now constructing new logical equivalences without using truth table. So we are going to state few terms and conditions. So how can we show the two expressions are logically equivalent without using truth table, and how can we show the two expressions logically equivalent by developing a series of logically equivalent statements. So if we have to prove that A is logically equivalent to B, then we produce series of equivalences beginning with A and ending with B. So if we know that A is equivalent to A1, then we will write this expression A is equivalent to A1. And if we know that A1 is equivalent to A2, then A will be equivalent to A2. If A2 is equivalent to A3, then A will be equivalent to A3 and so on. Ultimately, we'll end up with a proposition which is equivalent to B. So this is how we can show the two expressions are logically equivalent. And in this procedure, we will be requiring the laws stated in the table 7 and table 8. So that is why we should know these laws so that we can use this series. So in this series, these laws are going to help us to prove the logical equivalence. Now keep in mind that whenever a proposition represented by a proposition variable occurs in the equivalences listed earlier, it may be replaced by an arbitrary complex compound proposition. So here is an example. Show that negation of P and Q and P and negation Q are logically equivalent. So in table 7, we have a result. We have an equivalence relation between the propositions, that is P implies Q is equivalent to negation P or Q. So whenever you have a proposition with conditional or biconditional statement, so you have to get rid of this. So your target must be to convert into and or operators. So first of all, get rid of this conditional statement. So P implies Q according to this table is equivalent to negation P or Q. So first of all, we'll consider this logical statement, that is negation P implies Q. So negation is there. P implies Q is replaced by negation P or Q because P implies Q is equivalent to negation P or Q. Now, in this step, we are going to use De Morgan's law to get rid of this negation outside. So negation P and negation Q. So by De Morgan's law, this compound proposition is equivalent to this compound proposition. Now again, this is the double negation. So negation P gives us P and negation Q as it is. So this is actually the second proposition. So this shows that negation of P implies Q is equivalent to P and negation Q. So this is the use of table 7 and table 8. Whenever we have to prove the two logical expressions equivalent without using truth table, so we have to use these equivalences in order to prove the equivalence, required equivalence. Again, there is an example of showing two propositions equivalent. Now we have two propositions, negation of P and negation P and negation of P or negation P and Q, and we have to prove that this proposition is equivalent to this proposition. Again, we'll start with this proposition and we'll end up with this proposition by using different laws of equivalences. So first of all, let's start with this proposition, that is negation of P or negation P and Q, and this is equivalent to negation P. So first of all, what we are going to do, we are going to apply De Morgan's law, right? Now in this case, your first proposition is this, there is or in between, and the second proposition is this, and we know that negation of P or Q is equivalent to negation P and negation Q. So instead of Q, we have negation P and Q. So by using De Morgan's laws, we have negation P, that is negation of the first proposition used in this compound proposition, and so here we have or, so this will be replaced by and by using De Morgan's laws, and negation of the second proposition, so negation of this proposition, negation of negation P and Q. Okay, negation P will remain as it is, and now we are going to apply De Morgan's law in this section. So by using De Morgan's law, we have negation P, and this and is now replaced by or, and negation P or negation Q, so negation of second proposition. Okay, so let's simplify further. Negation P as it is and as it is. So double negation law actually allows us to write here P or negation Q as it is. Now we can use, now you can see here and operator, and you can see inside the parenthesis or operator. Now we can use distributive laws to simplify it. So with the help of distributive laws, we can see that negation P and P or negation P and negation Q, right? So negation P and P is always false. So we are left with false or negation P and negation Q, and we know that false is the identity for or operator, that is false or P gives us P. So false or negation P and negation Q gives us negation P and negation Q. So we have the required second proposition. So we started with this proposition and we ended up with this proposition. So this is how we have proved that this proposition is equivalent to this proposition. So in this procedure, we have series of propositions which are equivalent to each other. Again, there is an example that P implies Q, P and Q implies P or Q is a tautology. So we have to prove this without using truth table. So let's start. P and Q or implies P or Q. Again, we have to get rid of this conditional first of all. So for this, we have to use this equivalence relation. Now, P and Q implies P or Q means negation of the first proposition, that is negation P and Q, or second proposition P or Q, right? So in this proposition, we can use De Morgan's laws to have negation P or negation Q or P or Q. Now you can see there is or in between everywhere. So we can change the order by associativity of the or operator. So what we did, actually, it can be written as negation P or negation Q or P or Q, right? So we are combining these two. So negation P or P or negation Q or Q. Now negation P or P is true always. Negation Q or Q is also true always. So true or true is true. So this is how we prove that this proposition is always true. And this shows that this proposition is a tautology. Next, there is a concept of satisfiability. A compound proposition, now we are talking about a single, a compound proposition is satisfiable if there is an assignment of truth values to its variables that makes it true. Or when no such assignment exists, that is, if we are not able to assign truth values to the variables for which the given compound statement is true, then the proposition is called unsatisfiable. And know that a compound proposition is unsatisfiable if and only if its negation is true for all assignments of truth values to the variable. That is, its negation is a tautology. So if negation of a compound proposition is a tautology, then the compound proposition is unsatisfiable. So there is another point. When we find a particular assignment of truth values that makes a compound proposition true, we have shown that it is satisfiable by the definition of satisfiability. Such an assignment is called a solution of this particular satisfiability problem. However, to show that a compound proposition is unsatisfiable, we need to show that every assignment of truth values to its variables makes it false. And we can do this procedure, that is, if we have to check whether a compound statement is satisfiable or unsatisfiable, we can do this with the help of truth table, but it is often more efficient not to do with the help of truth table. So next example actually illustrates this fact. So we have three propositions in this example. One is this is compound proposition number 1 and compound proposition number 2, and this is compound proposition number 3. We have to check whether each of these compound propositions are satisfiable or not. So let's start with the first compound proposition, which is P or negation Q and Q or negation R and R or negation P. So I am trying to prove this satisfiable or unsatisfiable without using truth table. So without using truth table, so we'll randomly assign a truth value to the variables. So let assign the truth value true to P. So let's assume that P is true. Okay, so P is true, then this statement becomes true. Now in order to prove that this statement is true for some assignment of the truth value to the variables, we have to prove that these three propositions are true. These three propositions, that is P or negation Q, Q or negation R, R or negation P, all must be true. If they all are true, then conjunction of these three propositions will be true. If any of them is false, then this conjunction is going to be false. So we have to assign the truth value to the variables for which all three are true. So if we assign truth value P as true, so this will become true. Okay. whether negation Q is false, negation Q is true, it doesn't matter. Since P is true, the P or negation Q is true. Now, we can see negation P here. It means this is false. If P is true, then negation P is false. Now, in order to make it true, so we have to assign truth value to R true. So if R is true, negation P is false, then this is again true. Now we are left with this one. So, and we are left with one variable as well. We have to assign truth value to Q. So if R is true, then negation R is false. If negation R is false, in order to make this proposition true, we have to assign truth value Q true. So if all three have the same truth value, that is all are true, then these pairs, I mean these compound propositions P or negation Q, Q or negation R or negation P are all true. Now we have a conjunction of all true propositions, then this compound proposition is true for this assignment of variables, right? So we are able to find a truth value for variables for which this compound statement is true. It means this compound statement, compound proposition is satisfiable, right? So similarly, we can check for second and third compound proposition as well. So this part is actually solved in the book, so you will do it yourself. So this section shows that the second proposition is satisfiable, and the last section shows that the third proposition is unsatisfiable. That is, we are not able to find or we are not able to assign any truth value to the variables for which this proposition is true. So in this way we can say that this proposition is unsatisfiable. So for compound proposition 2 and from compound proposition 3, do the process yourself. So do it yourself. So that's all for today. See you next time. Bye-bye.